Okay, so this week you guys will be writing your milestone 1 for your final project. So just to give you a breakdown of how this will work, what I've done is I've divided your larger final project into smaller papers, and one will be a presentation. The idea is you try the best you can to do exactly what I'm asking you to do in these, and also don't forget to look at the rubric. And what will happen is I will give you feedback. So let's say you don't give me a well enough formed overview of the topic. I'll say that in the feedback, and then when you write your final paper, you can add more information and then you'll get full credit for it. And you'll see that your final project is the one that's worth the most points. So this beginning section here is just your introduction. So this is what the first paragraph the reader will read. I want you guys to assume that the reader knows nothing about your topic. Actually explain it to them. Explain to them why this is a conversation that you're having with them. And also explain to them why this is important to them. Make them keep reading. Obviously, I'm going to keep reading, but practice that. You want to describe any personal connection you have to the topic. And this is where you're going to be mentioning your bias towards the topic. A lot of you in your choosing of the topic, you guys mentioned your bias, and that's okay, but I'm just going to forewarn you, I will be forcing you to see the other side of the topic. You have to write a counter argument. Whether you agree with the counter argument or not is not the point. This is a critical thinking exercise where I'm forcing you to create a counter argument to the original argument I gave you. So mention any personal connection. And definitely do both sides. For example, if you're doing online dating, mention if you've done online dating, but also mention if you've done traditional dating. And mention if you have any dislikes or likes. That way the author knows, the reader knows which direction you are going. And basically that means me, and I'm going to notice that bias. Okay, the second section here, the presented argument, this is a throwback to that very first paper I had you guys write. Only in that case, I had you do an opinion paper, and they were awful. We know that. However, now I'm giving you an article that's a little bit better. And if you guys notice, the primary article that I gave each of you, or each group, it's not the best article, but it's also not the worst article. Okay, and I did that on purpose. I try to find a balance between bad and good. What you're going to be doing is presenting the premises of that article. And there are numerous premises. So don't just say one or two. Find as many premises as you can. The difference between this paper and that first paper, do not list them as though, like bullet points. I want you to incorporate them into the paper, explain it to the reader, and make it a part of the overall paper. Identify key facts, research, and resources. Again, this is going back to the primary article. And be careful, don't forget the resources. A lot of you forgot that on that first paper. And then you go into the logic and reasoning. So this is valid, invalid, strong, inductive, deductive, weak, all those key words that we've been over. Okay. Another big part of this one is gaps or weaknesses present. So look at the premises and ask yourself, is there a premise that is missing? And then the big one is, after looking at the premises and the conclusion, what are some unanswered questions? Mention those to the reader. So this is not your typical paper where you're going to have a thesis and you're going to argue for that thesis. I am forcing you to write a different type of paper. This is an argument, counter-argument paper. I'm giving you the first argument. I'm forcing you to do the one I gave to you, and I'm doing that on purpose. Okay? You, later on the next milestone, you will come up with a counter-argument. And you're also going to continue to critique this primary article, because if you guys remember, we did that for a long time. A lot of you were concerned about getting all the points possible. Guys, I got to be honest with you. The rubric, use it as a check off, okay? Make sure you have an overview. Bam, check it off. Personal connection, bam. The only thing that could knock you down is if you don't give enough information, in which case I'll give you this middle ground and I'll give you feedback to explain how to improve it for your final paper. In theory, if you do everything the way I have it organized, that final paper should be A plus 100%. Okay, that's the way I've designed this. So that when you turn that final paper in, You know exactly what I'm looking for by then, and bam, you can knock it out of the park. Okay, well, I hope you guys have fun this week working on your milestone. If you guys have any questions, just email me. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can.